Let's run that pretty little joker again. Put some heat, if you will, on the ESC. Also, I had the battery stuffed in a little bit further than I thought I had. Let's see if that gives us any relief on wanting to pitch down. There's plenty of room to put a piece of Velcro in there. It wouldn't be quite as easy to do as you wood stuffing the taking off. There we go. Yeah, a whole lot better. Yeah, you just stick that battery a little in there. You know what I didn't do? I didn't reset my timer. I did not. So what's new with me? Life is good. Gosh darn. Got to visit with friends who all had their shots the other day. That was nice. Had 6 people over for pizza. So it's kind of neat to get life back in order a bit. Yeah, I think it'd still use just a little mechanical up, you know, with the heavier motors and heavier props. But yeah, it was really nice. You know, just kind of like a touch of normalcy. You know, everyone was still COVID aware. The way it works is, in case you've been hit with over information, don't quite understand how it works, is the vaccine won't stop you from getting the disease process. It'll just keep you from getting hospitalized. You'll have a lighter version of it. That's how it works. So you can still get it. And that may be what ends up keeping us out of Canada. You know, I don't know if what the Canadians are thinking or how they're thinking, but right now they did another 30-day moratorium. But yeah, it was nice to kind of come back to a semblance of normalcy. I'm going to actually have a discussion with my dad and his wife and see if, since everybody's got the initial jab, whether they want to get together or not before I get out of here. I haven't seen him in more than a year, I don't believe. Yeah. So that's how the vaccine works. It doesn't stop you from getting sick. See if we can keep this thing out of a tree. Yeah, this thing comes in a pizza box. Yeah, it keeps wanting the nose down. This is with automatic off. And easy to store. And I found last time I didn't really use my big timber airplane, so that's a consideration. Seems like I'm using the ultra micros more. So as such, I don't have a, oh there it is. I was going to say I don't have a center punch here. Yeah, I'm looking for ideas on what to carry. So I'll carry this, the little timber, the Mavic. Oh, there we go. The little timber, Mavic, this, the Everest Avalanche, which is a wheeled vehicle. What else? Oh, the ZMR 250 and FPV goggles for that. I think that's going to do it. That's enough stuff. Just a big kid. That's all I am. Alrighty, let's bring her in. I might, well, I was thinking about putting a little reflex in there, but I don't think so. I think it just needs the battery to have a little spot forward from where it's at. And that's a maybe. Landing. See if I can get a little closer this time. Hand catch. All right, childrens. Catch you on the flip side. See ya. Good morning, childrens. Joe Pal Brian again. It's March 23, a little after 8. Successful remaiden of the Horizon Hobbies UMX Ultrix. The kind of the way that works. That's crazy. That's not going to be right. This thing is going to immediately go into a turn. Bear with.
Trim center.
Let's try that, and I'll turn it as necessary. Allergies love them. So, yeah, let's talk about the Ultrix. It's a sweet little airplane. Unfortunately, the way it works is that it has a very, very finite lifespan on its cans. I don't know how long, but it's short enough to where people are looking for workarounds like pulling the motors and oiling them. That is unacceptable to me. I'm going to be on a long road trip, and as me and Anthony have discussed, I don't want to have to be doing surgery on a plane unless it's totally necessary. So went ahead and did a preemptive strike on my Ultrix and pulled the motors and replaced them. It was I don't know, maybe an hour-long bit of surgery.
4 minutes.
Basically, what I did was I did a little something different than Roger at Babblebats did. He went ahead and just did a nice slice directly across his motor nacelle with a hobby knife. I went ahead and just took my time, and it looks like they used something akin to foam tack on the back of the nacelles, on the aft portion of them, and just slowly peeled it away and hit it with a hobby knife and pulled the entire nacelle off. Reassembled same using heavy packing tape. Heavy packing tape is the shite. And used a little bit of foam tack where they use foam tack, because most likely I won't have to go in there and worry with those motors. I'll either lose the plane or the plane will die of old age before those motors will need replacing. Those are Eachine. I forget what size they are. I think 13,000 kV or something like that. Definitely got more punch.
3 minutes.
Yeah, pretty neat little airplane. And just amazing. Yeah, the surgery took almost no time. So just hacked the leads off of the existing motors and left some length on them, because those little Molex leads are pretty handy to have about if you need them. And I want to be able to reuse those motors if I need to for whatever reason. I'm probably going to carry them with me. When you push the new props on, if you leave the motor mounts where they're at, you have, a 1/4 millimeter between the actual fairing and the motor propeller. So that's something to consider. I'm glad I only pushed it 3/4 way in.
2 minutes.
I just wanted it to bite. And it felt like at 3/4, that was how it bit. So the weather's easing up here in beautiful Central Florida, and I'm going to load up my truck tonight for a visit out at the club tomorrow. I've gave it some consideration, and as pretty as the Durafly T28 version 2 Marines edition is, I'm not going to carry it out there anymore. It's going to have to be a hangar princess. What ends up happening, and I think this happened with my version 1, I really didn't do a good enough job of mounting my stabilized receiver on the inside of my airplane, and it's so bumpy on that crap asphalt runway of ours that it does two things. It just it causes the T-28 to not want to track straight when you're trying to taxi before you take off. And previously, all but maybe once or twice, I might have rolled my other T-28, my original one, off the landing strip. Just it's terrible. It heads right towards one side or the other, and you try to lift off, rotate before things go awry, and that's just not how that happens. That thing rolled off the other day, and it broke off some of my landing gear doors and wheels and all that stuff. So, and killed a prop. That prop needed dying anyway. Well, one of the most unbalanced props I've ever had. I balanced it, and it was still crap. So I brought it home, and it didn't even have a scratch on it otherwise, and fixed the gear, and it's hanging on the wall, and I'm afraid that's where it's going to stay.
Timer 1 elapsed.
I really don't have a confidence in that thing. Somebody asked me about a grass strip, and I'm like, hey, our grass here, yeah, it's like a jungle. It's not that real. There is golf course grass around, but not here. Let's do a hot swap on here. Landing.
Throttle hold. Throttle hold.
So that's how that worked. I tested it, brought it home. The big giant batteries are like 3800 4S. They weigh a ton. Actually, well more than 100 grams more than
Telemetry lost.
the ones that I have, the 4S 2200s. I went ahead and added about as much weight in the nose via lead. I think honestly 50 grams lighter than those 2200s that I had in there. The thing's nose heavy. I think this one may have been basically weighted correctly in the mold. That was why they sold them for $100 a piece. They didn't feel like going through the process of figuring out whether their molds were too heavy on the fuse. I think this one's correct. So went ahead and lightened the load on there by about 50 grams. So I can use my better, that's my point, my better batteries. These 3800s are, I think they're at the end of their life. They haven't bloated or anything, but their resistance level is kind of fucked. So I have to say this, I think that beautiful Trojan is going to be a hangar queen. And that bereaves me greatly to not use something that needs to be used, but I'm not going to tear up a plane on my ridiculously rough landing strip out there just so I can say I flew it. So I'll carry the big timber out tomorrow. It ain't been out in a while. And what else? I might carry the Convergence out and test it via FPV. That's a fun fly, man. Yeah, I'll put a number of planes in the back to include my ZMR 250 that I lost the other day. I have no idea why I had a full blank out of my video. Although I did take out and reinstall the connectors on everything. Just give them an exercise, and that seemed to make it better. What else? That's about it. Had general malaise from the first Moderna shot for 3 days. We're not certain whether allergies are so bad here right now. Pine and oak pollen more than anything. We're not so certain that didn't play a part as well. But oh my God, the last 4 or 5 days, man, I ain't been myself. So we think that's corrected. Definitely had what I call Moderna malaise. Yeah. felt poor. I mean, poor. Unlike me to wake up and then go back to sleep a few hours later. Very unlike me. So now it's time to get back in the mix and do some exercise and carry the dog for a walk. Um, get out tomorrow and go to the club, which would be fun. They lowered the vaccine age to 40, so they're trying to get people to get the vaccine. So that'll be good. We're pushing along the way we should be. That will be good. Oh man, some of the cheapest stuff I have is the most fun. Some of the most fun. Landing.
Throttle hold. Throttle hold.
That's it. Hey, all the best, and see ya.